What is up, YouTube? It is your boy Historic here, and welcome back to another YouTube video on the channel. Now in today's video we're going to be doing a character analysis, something that I haven't really done before in the past, but I thought it'd be kind of nice to talk about considering how this character often gets misrepresented in the media. So in my opinion, I thought it'd be an easy way to kind of segue into a new branch of series on my channel. So yeah, let's get into it. Today we're going to be talking about Majin Vegeta and why in my opinion he is the most misunderstood Dragon Ball character of all time. We are introduced to Majin Vegeta in chapter 457 of the original Dragon Ball manga. Titled Vegeta's Pride, this chapter showcases Vegeta trying to go back to his old ways, clinging to his old feelings in order to feel strong again. Now shockingly, the fandom still chooses to misrepresent Majin Vegeta and what he is and what he aims to be. And they obviously misunderstand the story that Toriyama is trying to convey through Vegeta. Before you can even begin to attempt to understand Majin Vegeta's character, you have to understand who Vegeta was before becoming a Majin. More importantly, you have to recognize that this Vegeta is not the same as this Vegeta. Saiyan Saga Vegeta, or Elite Saiyan Vegeta, is quite literally the complete polar opposite of Majin Vegeta in every aspect. Saiyan Saga Vegeta is evil because he can be. Majin Vegeta is evil because he feels like he needs to be. Now I know the two sound the same, especially because of the way I worded it, so let me elaborate and kind of give you a different meaning of what I'm trying to say. Let's take Saiyan Saga Vegeta after his defeat, quote unquote, to the Z Fighters on Earth, and then basically making his arrival to Namek. Better yet, imagine your Vegeta leaving Earth and going to Namek. So let's say you and your friend or your apprentice or whatever shows up into a new planet, basically just looking for these magical balls that grant you a wish. You're a Saiyan elite of mass power, and obviously you can demonstrate it and prove it. And that's ever more apparent when you defeat a low-class Saiyan and essentially crush him in every aspect. But not only do you decimate him, but you decimate all of his friends, his son, and pretty much everybody else who wants to get involved. So a lot of people are going to counter my analysis by trying to bring up the fact that Vegeta got spared by Goku, and that should take a huge toll on his psyche. There should be no reason for Vegeta to be affected mentally in any capacity at all. Yes, Vegeta was spared, but he was still the strongest person on Earth by a long shot. Couple that with the fact that there was literally nobody left to oppose him and come back after him in the future in his mind, yeah, I think he was pretty solidified. So no, I don't think him being spared by people he literally crippled should affect him mentally. Now the Goku he fought on Earth is still nowhere near him in strength, until he constantly shows up, gets stronger, and obviously manhandles everybody that Vegeta had a problem with, the Ginyu Force being one of them. Then, the biggest kick to the balls of all time. So this is where Frieza comes into play. Frieza obviously being the person that destroyed his entire race and destroyed his entire birthright with the destruction of planet Vegeta. This is where the chance falls on Vegeta to right the biggest wrong in Saiyan history, that obviously being the extermination of his race. Couple that with the fact that Vegeta is deluding himself into thinking that he is the Saiyan of legend, it's obviously going to take a toll on him when he's not. So yeah, come to find out, he isn't able to right the biggest wrong in Saiyan history, and he ultimately gets beat the hell up by Frieza in every aspect. And when I say beat the hell up, I mean beat the hell up. This man is getting used like a rag doll and thrown around the planet like nothing. And then Goku shows up. Now he finally gets to have his dream realized of Frieza getting what's coming to him, but he ultimately won't be able to see it through because again, Frieza kills him right then and there. So imagine this, you spend forever training, thriving, doing everything you possibly can to get stronger, in attempts of being the one that could finally change the trajectory of history. You put yourself through rigorous training, absolute hell, only for you to not be able to do the one thing you were supposed to do. Combine that with the fact that you're a Saiyan elite and that a low-class Saiyan is doing your job better than you. And the worst part of it all is you don't even get to see it through because the person that you've been striving forever to beat kills you immediately. Now this next part is so obvious, I really didn't even want to bring it up because everyone should know this is a main trait of Vegeta's character. Voice crack. But y'all get the point. Vegeta being the prince of all Saiyans makes everything I just said 50 times worse. So Vegeta is then brought back to life with the Dragon Balls, and then he looks up in the sky and sees that Goku was a legendary Saiyan all along, and then he gets transported to Earth. Now this kicks off two events in my opinion that I think heavily affect Vegeta's character. Then on Earth he literally witnesses Frieza get turned into cold cuts by another Super Saiyan, essentially being reminded of his failures for a second time. This then prompts Vegeta to take some time off and become a Super Saiyan, and he does. He shows up, shows out, destroys Android 19, and does what Goku could not do. Now I like the way the anime handles this in my opinion. It handles it way better than the manga. In the manga you don't really see Vegeta training to become a Super Saiyan, but in the anime you do. You essentially see what forced Vegeta to become a Super Saiyan in the first place, and it's the fact that there are two Super Saiyans who did what he could not do. He's being outclassed and outshined by a low-class warrior and a random person from the future he's never met before. And you can literally see the mental toll that takes on him. You literally see him burst out into tears because of the fact that how he can't do what he was always meant to do. Remember, Vegeta feels deserving of this because it's his birthright essentially. And seeing as how he's the only Saiyan that legitimately remembers Planet Vegeta for what it was, he now feels like he's the only Avenger. And seeing that other people could do what he cannot destroys him. But it also builds him back up. After fighting Android 18, he is then rendered inferior by machinery, and that takes another huge mental toll on him. Android 18 kicked this nigga's arm and broke it in two. Like his arm is completely going the opposite direction of the way it was meant to go, and it destroys him. But he's built back up. After Goku tells him about the room of spirit and time, he finds another opportunity to become stronger. Another opportunity to not be made inferior. An opportunity to not be overlooked because he's the Saiyan Prince. How could you ever count him out or overstep or even attempt to make him inferior? So then he goes in and steps out stronger than he's ever been. He goes down and with no hesitation, he is easily able to showcase who he is and what he was. The Prince of all Saiyans, the one who's going to save the world from the greatest threat the world's ever seen. And he's beating Cell's ass. Literally. But then he gets a little too cocky and lets Cell become perfect, and after that he gets his entire spine cracked in half. Now this doesn't destroy him, instead it kind of puts some more fire under his ass. What destroys him is when Goku and Gohan leave the room of spirit and time. If you guys remember this infamous scene where Goku makes it known that he is stronger than Vegeta on all metrics.
If we've already pushed our bodies to their limit, then what's another year gonna do? We'd just be torturing ourselves. Of course, it's fine if the rest of you go in there and train as hard as you need to give yourselves a fair shot. Don't overdo it, but you can stand to beef up just a little bit.
Is that a fact? Mind your tongue. I'm not an imbecile. I know when I'm being patronized, and I don't care for the suggestion that you're stronger than me.
Yeah, I wasn't really suggesting.
That destroys him. But he's built back up. Now fast forward through the fact that Goku is basically not able to defeat Cell. Gohan has to step in. Trunks gets hit in the chest and he dies. Then Vegeta's like, my baby boy, and then goes out to go save him. And essentially, yeah, he gets chopped up. He is the person to make the critical save and assist Gohan when he absolutely needs it, and that is what puts Cell on his Achilles heel, and then he gets dropped. Now in the midst of all this, Goku sacrifices his life and attempts to save the entire world. In a matter of moments, Vegeta's drive, hunger, and thirst for power is just gone. His main rival, the person he's been chasing in power for the longest time, is gone. And because of that, his will to fight is gone. This is where we finally end off in the Buu saga. Vegeta's a family man now, living on Earth, absolutely comfortable with all our customs, and essentially he is living our life. He isn't a fighter, he isn't a warrior anymore, he isn't a Saiyan elite, he's just a dad. In his eyes, he's a shell of who he used to be, but that's perfectly fine. There's nobody else he has to face anymore. No looming threat hovering over the Earth, no rival to chase, nothing. It's just him, his family, and the rest of the world. But all that changes when Goku decides to come back to life for a day. One day for Goku to chill, be with his family, and just get in touch with his roots. But for Vegeta, this is one chance, one shot at redemption, at rebirth, at revival. It's his chance to finally feel strong again. He's been putting in so much work and so many hours, but he now feels like he's ready to showcase it to his rival. But all that training, all that hope, all that optimism that he put into his efforts, it doesn't matter because Goku is still stronger than him. And the gap between the two of them is astronomically large. Vegeta recognizes this, and he finally decides to give in, take the easy way. He lets himself get controlled by Babidi and does some of the most heinous things he's ever done in his entire life. All of this just to get his hands on Goku, just to prove that all along, all that chasing he was doing, it's not gonna mean a damn thing, because right now in this moment, he's gonna finally get what he deserves. He's gonna showcase that he's better than this low-class warrior he's been spending years trying to catch up to. He's gonna solidify and cement his place in Saiyan history. It doesn't matter the cost. He doesn't care about who he's gonna hurt. He doesn't care about who he's gonna affect. At the end of the day, it's all about him. So he and Goku fight, and they're equals. They're even. He's finally caught up. He's finally done it. But then, he has a lapse of judgment, a wake-up call if you will. When Buu gets revived and makes his appearance on Earth, Vegeta instantly recognizes the danger. When Buu powers up and he showcases that he is not to be fucked with, Vegeta instantly recognizes that, yeah, my petty squabbles, they don't matter right now. So he opts to end the fight with Goku and keep him out of harm's way. Because when he's done, he's gonna want to finish the fight. So no, Vegeta didn't sneak Goku for a cheeky win. He did it so that way he can have a future fight, which is constantly overlooked and not really mentioned. Vegeta then tries to make things right again. He's fighting his hardest, he's trying everything he possibly can. but then it just dawns on him that he's not powerful enough. Everything he's doing is being rendered useless by Majin Buu, and he knows for a fact that he's not coming out of this battle alive. So rather than him basically going out on someone else's accord, he chooses to go out on his own. Vegeta then charges up all of his ki, generates everything possible, and essentially just releases it, sacrificing his life for everyone on Earth. Now, before Vegeta's sacrifice, there are two moments that happen that I want to speak on specifically. When Vegeta shows up to fight Buu, he basically makes it clear that he already knows he's going to hell. In fact, he says it like he's already made peace with it, which makes the scene of him hugging Trunks for the final time and asking Piccolo if he can be redeemed even more sad. This is a man who knows where he's going and it's nowhere good. And he still looks at death with a straight face and just walks through it. And that's where the story of Majin Vegeta ends. Now we know Vegeta's character arc in this story ends with him accepting that Goku is stronger than him and essentially moving on. But that's the end of Vegeta's story, not Majin Vegeta, so this is where I'm going to place the end of the video. If your main takeaway from this analysis is that Vegeta is a whiny crybaby loser, well, that's kind of the truth. The reason being for it is because that's the way the story is meant to be written. This is supposed to be a proverbial rock bottom for the character. If you notice, the sequence of Vegeta's character is constantly him being broken down mentally and rebuilt all the time. He's constantly teetering on and off the wagon, and it's making more and more sense why he's feeling the way he's feeling. And this is what leads me back to my original statement about the character of Majin Vegeta in the first place. He's misunderstood in the fact that people don't get this is a necessity. This is not something that he's just doing out of a whim. This is something he feels like he needs to do, something that he needs to accomplish to feel right about himself again. And ultimately, when he sees the errors in his ways, he's able to grow from it and essentially perform the biggest sacrifice he's ever done. So yeah, think about that next time you read through the manga. Anyway, it's been your boy Historic. This is all my time I have for today. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button so I know you did. And don't forget to subscribe because I make new videos whenever the fuck I want to. And yeah, with that said, I'm out. Peace.